What is the schedule like for a typical patient visit on Friday?
So we have clinics on Friday mornings. We typically will see 20 to 25 patients on a Friday morning, spread, we have appointments like throughout the morning in groups, essentially. We get the patients into a room. One of the nurse practitioners, either Erin or myself, or we have actually another nurse practitioner who's from interventional radiology, will go into the room first and introduce ourselves and try to get some history. We're asking for history on not only the vascular anomaly when they first saw it, how it's changed over time, but also just general medical history about the person's health, generally what medications they might take, whether they have any allergies, that kind of information. We then do a short physical exam, so we're going to listen to heart and lungs and push on the belly and look at the area of the vascular anomaly specifically. And then we take some photographs. The photographs are really important because even though sometimes kids are reluctant to have photographs taken, we take a face photo just so that we know who the person is, not just a limb or some other part of the body. And then we take photographs that we can use in the future to compare. If they're coming back to us annually or in the future, then we can see how things have changed over time. Once we're done with our part of that, so the history, the physical exam, the photographs, then we go out and the physicians come into the room.
And Erin, is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, the other thing I would say too is that speaking also to what Mary Beth said about the teaching, we also try to just kind of talk to them a little bit about some of the terminology that they may hear the doctors use when they come in the room, some of the words that they might hear talking about the diagnosis and what those might mean, potentially maybe some treatment recommendations. So I usually try to introduce some of the words that they may hear, like sclerotherapy or what debulking means or that kind of thing, just so that they kind of have a heads up when they hear some of the words or maybe some of the medications that they might talk about, just so that they can maybe just not be a little shocked or maybe be a little bit more prepared when they hear the words. So we do that, and then we talk to them about why we need the photos. A lot of the patients ask questions about why we're taking those and what we're going to do with them, just so we have subsequent photos, if we see them again in subsequent visits, or if they call us down the road and say that they're having problems, we remember what they looked like that day. And then when we leave the room, if it's a new patient, we try to decide by the exam that we've done and the history that they've given us who we think would be the best doctors to see them. If they've asked for specific doctors to see them that day, certainly we try to accommodate that as well. Or if it's a patient that has an existing relationship with surgeons or the other doctors, obviously they see those doctors in conjunction with anybody else we think they need to see. So that kind of happens once we leave the room. And then the doctors sometimes will go in together depending on what the diagnoses and situations are, or sometimes they'll go in individually and maybe kind of wrap up and see the patients together at the end.